I was so excited when I saw those 2 lines. I was pregnant. I knew my life was about to gain so much more meaning and richness. What I didn't expect, though, was how much weight I'd gain along with it. I was absolutely huge and 10 days overdue when I delivered my 8-pound, 6-ounce beautiful baby girl. I was really swollen and lost some water weight, too, but great. I still had over 30 pounds to lose just to get back to my pre-pregnancy chubby self. To my surprise, though, I found caring for my daughter to be quite a workout. I was always carrying her, and even though she was so little, she was heavy, because if you carry anything around in the same position long enough, it will make you sore. But my little dumbbell kept growing, and I kept lifting her, so after a couple months, I didn't feel the burn anymore. Then as she got bigger, I started to baby wear, so I was still carrying her weight. My shoulders and back got stronger, thanks to ring slings and May ties. I was able to move around much easier and get more done while she was strapped to me. And at times, I felt like a supermom because I got crafty with carefully squatting to pick things up so even my legs would get a workout. I found baby wearing not only to be a great parenting tool, but also a home gym. So with my constant exertion, it was hard to break my eating spree. On top of that, I was nursing exclusively for the first 6 months. Even with me eating so much, my chubbiness started to melt away into my milk. I was losing weight, my daughter was gaining healthy baby mass. It worked out well, but she was literally sucking my energy out of me. My husband would joke that I was eating and drinking all the time. If I told him I wanted something, he'd look at me as if I were kidding. I told him, "You don't understand, I'm a nursing mother." By her first birthday, I had lost all the pregnancy weight by doing nothing other than being a parent. I'd shaped up a bit as a result of her being on the move, but I could barely run a mile without feeling like I was going to die. As Lent approached, I wanted to change that, so I pledged to run 40 miles over the 40 days. I thought a mile a day or 2 every other day seemed reasonable enough and would get me into the habit of exercising regularly, even if it was just for 10 minutes. My first mile was more like 12 minutes, but my body adapted to running just as it had to being a mom, and rapidly. By the end, I was able to run no problem while pushing my daughter in my new jogger stroller. And that thing really shaped me up. I was 10 pounds below my wedding day weight after a year of running, but that was not as good as I wanted to be. I was happy with how far I'd come, but I wanted to reach a long-standing goal I had. Plus, to be honest, I also wanted some more me time. I did the math in my head. I'm a slow runner and would have to build up a lot of distance over several months if I were to run a marathon. That's a lot of time I've had my own. Yes, it takes a crazy kind of person to sign up to run 26.2 miles, but I thought it would be worth it to do something by myself. Although my husband was on board to help, it wasn't easy to fit the runs in. As training got more intense, I began to see many parallels between long-distance running and mothering. I had made a commitment to both. When I was tired and didn't want to wake up to soothe my daughter, I still would because her comfort is more important to me than mine. Just like when I felt too tired to run, I made myself start and would always feel better once it was over. What I gained from doing both was far better than the temporary discomfort. And even though at times I thought I didn't have the energy, just knowing I had to do it somehow made some appear. Both were also very repetitive, the motion of running, one foot in front of the other over and over again. Felt a lot like my newborn days of eating and sleeping cycles around the clock. It didn't feel like I was getting anywhere in the moment, but one day it hit me my baby was now crawling and eating off my plate. The daily repetition makes you grow stronger. Our lives are like a run. We're all working hard to get somewhere, and if you just stick to it, you'll get there. Then the next 2 lines came. The first one was the start line of the Chicago Marathon. I approached it tired, having barely slept, dreading what I was about to do, but knowing that it was too late to turn back. I started, and I kept going. It was the strangest feeling running the marathon. I was surprisingly very relaxed once I warmed up because running, despite the effort, seemed like a break to me. I waddled along, and somehow the hours only felt like minutes, the complete opposite of what I expected. The time seemed to warp, and not too much longer later, I saw that wonderful second line, the finish line. I felt fantastic as I passed it, but it wasn't nearly as fulfilling as I thought it would be. After being a mother, you realize there's no endurance sport that comes close to mothering. Having struggled with my weight for almost as long as I can remember, I certainly didn't think I'd be in the best shape of my life with a toddler in tow. But motherhood is physical. It takes a very strong person to raise another. Being a mother can shape anybody up, because there's one thing I know for sure about it. There's no stopping a loving mother.